Hey, good morning, all. I figured this was a great place to talk about this rant. This is a what if rant. So, what if tribulations, in reality, the tribulations they talk about in the Bible, where souls are lifted to heaven without dying first? What if that's not what we think it is? What if it's not something to fear? Why do I say that? Well, for a lot of reasons. Primarily, it stems from a conversation, and I know this is a real long way to get to this conversation, but I'm going to tell it anyway. As any of you that have been following me for any length of time know, I have an unwavering belief and faith in God, our Creator of all things seen and unseen. And through God, all things are possible. I know this for a fact because after asking God for a possible way to complete my mission here on earth, self-publishing my book, and finally providing my parents with a legacy they deserved within 10 days of asking that question, I was working for a company that I didn't even know existed in this town. And they finally got it's a new company, a company called LC Drives. They're making next gen electric wind turbine engines that, once perfected, will revolutionize the industry. Not only that, but all we got to do is we got one working. All we got to do is get 3 more of them working. And with any luck, we'll be able to get enough financing to break ground on a factory that will ultimately employ over 300 local residents with good paying jobs with all kinds of benefits that aren't directly connected and tied into the college system around here, the college campuses, which, as you can only imagine, are seasonal to begin with, and right now are vacant. Even professors are starting to freaking take odd jobs from, I don't even know, you can't even get a penny saver anymore, I don't know. But regardless. So I got this great job, and during my 6 months so far with this company, I've met some great and interesting individuals. One in particular is this, he's a foreign exchange student, engineer by the name of Rasul. Now, this does not define him, but this guy's Iranian. Y'all know I'm an Army vet, a hardcore conservative. But the thing is, this doesn't define who I am. If you looked at me right now, some people might think I'm some kind of, I don't know, redneck hick. I basically have a military haircut right now, even though you can't see it. But trust me, I'm not going to lie. And when Rasul and I began talking, one of the interesting things I learned about the people of Iran and their culture is that they share 2 holidays in common, and it's not the ones you might think. Oddly enough, not St. Patrick's Day, that would be stupid. St. Valentine's Day, or Valentine's Day, and Mother's Day. So I happen to be working on Sunday this past weekend on Mother's Day. My mom's been passed for 15 years. And during the course of First few minutes, I had a little conversation with Rasul, who was also working there. He was the engineer doing some tests on the motor that we have finished. Anyway, during our conversation, I found out not only that Mother's Day in Iran is completely different, it's on a different day is what I mean, but we also got into a little bit of a deep spiritual conversation. And I explained to him, and it kind of hit me while I was talking to him for some reason. But I explained to him about the last conversation I had with my mom, how she asked me what happened when you died. And I told her about the law of conservation of energy and matter. Energy and matter can neither be created nor destroyed, only transferred from one container into another, or transformed from one form into another. And as human beings, see that? We got the matter and we got the energy. So I said to my mom, I said, we know what happens when our bodies decay. They turn back into the elements that they were comprised of. They rot and eventually become the earth. So they are transformed back. However, the energy that defines us is both kinetic and self-aware. By definition, our energy, our life force, our spirit, our soul has to go either get reloaded into a new container or be transformed, evolve into a new form. Well, let's get back to tribulations. Tribulations in the Bible. Essentially, God raises the worthy souls up to heaven. What if that is spiritual evolution? Evolution, if you look through the geological timetables, through the different levels of civilization, periods that we don't even know about. When Cro-Magnons maybe at one point fought Homo sapiens. Who knows? Maybe they were crossbred. Maybe that's what this part of this 23andMe bullshit's all about. They're trying to find out which of us have ancestors from a chaotic past, or maybe they're trying to figure out the gene that allows some of us to be awake while others still slumber. Who knows? My point being, maybe the tribulations isn't that they talk about in the Bible. Maybe that's not as scary of a thing as a lot of people think it is. Maybe in reality, it's a dimensional shift. Because we are only in this body as long as it continues to function. At some point, we're all on the same ride. We're all taking that same wave. Our daily struggle ultimately ends back down there. So maybe when Q talks about us having more power than we know, and when the Bible says God made humans, man, in his own image, maybe God wasn't talking about the physical. Maybe Q ain't talking about the physical. Maybe it is all spiritual. And it sounds scary. But this is temporary. No matter what way you cut it, this is temporary. You want proof? Look in the damn mirror. What's looking back at you doesn't look anything like you looked like even a year ago. There have been changes, and there will continue to be changes. That's why the fool that I was when I was young, I sought the pretty packages and found out that more often than not, those pretty packages contained serpents, man. They were just women looking for the best bet for their future. They wanted the money. Hell, one of them became a damn banker, for Christ's sakes. Excuse me, God. Sorry about that. What's my point? My point is that live while you can, man. And don't worry about what happens in the end. We might very well be on the verge of not only a great awakening, but a spiritual awakening. Maybe this is why we got fluoride in the water. Maybe this is why they've been trying to brainwash us through programming on your TV. Maybe that's why it had to go digital, so it'd be more direct. Maybe that's why these devices had to come in. By the way, look into the frequency of a cell phone. The frequency of a cell phone is such that it best connects to the formative side. Listen, the horse is even snorting at me. But there's a little bit of a secret behind the frequency. Do a little investigation. You might be surprised, and maybe you'll start leaving your cell phone at home a little bit more often. Hey, God, please give me the strength to make it through another day. Help me awaken those that still slumber. Please, dear Lord, guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions, so that I can ride this wave all the way to the end. Please protect and guide Donald J. Trump, all the members of Q, the members of our military, our law enforcement, especially Vets for Child Rescue, so that united together we can finally, clothed in your righteous armor and armed with your sword of light, defeat the evil that preys upon the children of the world once and for all. Amen. Hey, all, God bless. I'm going to get in and make some breakfast. Y'all have a wonderful